Yeah, I know in the last video I said that the next video was going to be the Tomorrowland review, but and I completely forgot about NXT Unstoppable, or NXT Takeover Unstoppable. And boy, I'm glad I remembered it after I posted the video, posted the Payback review. Man, this was a great show. This was so much better than Payback. Exactly, just I almost hesitate to use the term non-stop action, but non-stop action. Starting things off, the first match we had Tyler Breeze taking on Finn Balor. This was supposed to be a triple threat match, obviously, with Hideo Itami involved, but Tommy's been hurt. It's been known for a few weeks now that he tore his rotator cuff. They did a vignette in the background where he got jumped in the parking lot by someone, possibly Kevin Owens, judging by Owens' reaction. Don't know. There was rumors that this was probably going to be a setup to introduce someone. That was not the case, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that a little bit more later. Anyway, this was still for the #1 contendership. Just now it's a one-on-one match instead of a triple threat. Early on, Tyler hit this big springboard drop kick. It knocked Balor right off the ring apron. Tyler then hit a neck breaker for a 2. Balor countered a sunset flip into a Tyler Breeze sunset flip into a drop kick. Balor did a double stomp off the ring apron. Tyler hit the supermodel kick for 2. Then Tyler went to the corner and undid the turnbuckle padding, exposed the turnbuckle, and they did a few more moves, and then, oops. There we go, sorry. They did some moves, a series of pins. Balor set up a roll-up. Tyler managed to kick out of it, and the kick propelled Balor into the exposed turnbuckle pad. Tyler then hit the beauty kick for the 2. But that was not enough. It was just a 2 count. And then Tyler started throwing this big temper tantrum. Balor ran out of the ring a bit to recover. Tyler started to look for Balor. He couldn't find him. He went outside the ring and was going up the ramp. Balor jumped him on the ramp. Hit a big clothesline. And then Balor climbed up to the top. Well, not quite at the top of the video screen, but yeah, basically right up to the bottom part. If I may, using the PS3 remote here. If everything up to here were the screen and this was the ledge in front of that, this is where Balor climbed up to, and he did a crossbody off of that onto the ramp, hit it on Tyler. Balor then hit the corner drop kick, got them back into the ring, and then he hit the corner drop kick, and then he hit the coup de grace double stomp for the 3 and the win. And your #1 contender is once again Finn Balor. Okay, our second match of the night, we had Dana Brooke and Emma tagging together to take on the tag team of Charlotte and Bayley. Early on, Bayley and Charlotte double-teamed Dana Brooke into a slingshot clothesline. Bayley really worked most of the match. Early on, Emma pulled Bayley off the top rope. Bayley hit the back of her head on the turnbuckle pad. I don't know if that was intended. Emma hit the Emmamite sandwich for a 2 count. Bayley then managed to come back, hit a big T-bone suplex. This enabled her to get the hot take to Charlotte. Charlotte came in, hit a double T on both Emma and Dana. Charlotte then locked in the figure 8 on Dana. No, wait. Locked the figure 8 on Emma, my mistake. Sorry. Dana then came in to break off the pin. Bayley came in and hit the Bayley to belly on Dana Brooke. And Charlotte did eventually break the hold, but then hit the natural selection on Emma for the cover and the win. This match was kind of it wasn't the worst match of the night. We'll get to that. But this one was pretty good at some point. It was a very quick tag match, pretty nondescript. By the way, am I the only one who thinks Dana Brooke is like the female Lex Luger? Seriously, I think she even has the torture rack as her finisher, doesn't she? Okay. Sorry. The next match after that was Rhino and Baron Corbin. The match was very below average. It was almost entirely forgettable. I mean, the crowd was pretty divided. I mean, half of them were cheering for Corbin, half of them were cheering for Rhino. They brawled for a while outside the ring. Corbin whipped Rhino into the turnbuckles a few times. Rhino hit a spinebuster for a 2 count. Rhino then set up the gore. Corbin was able to counter with a clothesline, and then hit the end of days for the 3 and the win. The last bit of the match was a little fuzzy to me because the feed sort of cut out a little bit a couple of times, and I actually missed the big clothesline that he hit when Corbin hit when Rhino went for the gore. But like I said, this was obviously the worst match of the night. And then the fourth match is the NXT Tag Team Championship match. Enzo Amore and Big Cass with Carmella taking on Blake and Murphy. Yeah, I almost called Blake Owens for some reason. You know, I'm going to be honest, I don't hate Blake and Murphy that much. I know a lot of people don't like them, but they work pretty well as a team. I mean, I kind of like the idea that they were this, you know, sort of average jobber team for a few months, and then suddenly they kind of got this big win and, you know, used that to get the tag team titles, and now they're kind of working a good heel angle. Seem to be going pretty well. Early on, Blake and Murphy tried to double team on Enzo, but he managed to get the tag to Cass, and immediately when Big Cass got tagged in, Blake and Murphy just called off and held back. Enzo eventually got back in, hit another crossbody for a 2 count. Blake and Murphy then kind of dominated the match from this point. They hit a big power bomb backcracker for 2. Enzo did eventually hit a flying DDT, and this allowed him to get the hot tag to Cass. And that's when Alexa Bliss came down, and she took out Carmella. And this really wasn't that big a surprise. They've been teasing kind of a Alexa Bliss... Alexa or Alexis? Because I swear, like 2 months ago, she was Alexis Bliss, but now she's Alexa Bliss. Whatever. Anyway, they've been showing some vignettes where... you know, if you know the story leading up to this, Blake and Murphy have been hitting on Carmella mercilessly, and she's been trying to fend them off. And at one point, Alexa Bliss came down and said, "Oh, why do you keep doing that? Why do you keep wanting to?" And you know, it just seemed natural that at some point Alexa Bliss was going to come down and side with Blake and Murphy, and that's pretty much what happened. Like I said, Bliss took out Carmella. This distracted Cass. Enzo was up on the top rope. Bliss managed to get up and push Enzo off of the top rope. Blake covered him for the win. Still tag team champions, Blake and Murphy. Really the match of the night right now is the next one up, and that's Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch for the NXT Women's Championship. Becky Lynch came out and she was in like this steampunk getup. And she highlighted her hair. It's now more of an orange, not the fiery red that it once was. Early on, there was a lot of roll-through pins for about a minute and a half. It was a lot. And then Sasha went for a Thez press, but Becky ducked out of the way, and then Becky tried to go for the armbar. Sasha wriggled out of it. Sasha then hit a face plant on Becky onto the ring apron. I didn't say that very well, sorry. Sasha face planted Becky onto the ring apron. From there, Sasha just really kind of started to dominate the match. She kept trying to lock on holds. She's targeting Becky Lynch's arm, trying to prevent her from putting on the armbar. She put her in a straitjacket hold for a while. But Becky began to rally back. She had a lot of big moves. She countered Sasha's attempt at a cross arm breaker into a kind of a modified electric chair drop. Becky hits a missile drop kick, got a 2 count. Becky then rammed Sasha's ring into the ring post, her arm into the ring post. Becky managed to eventually lock on the armbar, but Sasha just managed to get to the ropes. Sasha rolled outside to recover. Becky rolled outside the ring briefly to recover. Sasha tried to do a suicide dive, but Becky actually caught her outside the ring, took Sasha, threw her into the ring steps, then managed to get her, roll her into the ring. Becky then climbed to the top rope, began to set up a move. Sasha runs up, hits an armbar DDT off of the top rope, uses that to lock into the crossface, and then Becky tapped out, and Sasha Banks retains the Women's Championship. This was just, this was such a match. I mean, it went for almost a solid half an hour. So good. The whole crowd was into it, and at the end of it, you know, Sasha celebrated, left the ring celebrating. Becky was back in the ring crying. The entire crowd just gave her a standing ovation and was chanting in her favor. And like I said, just a darn good match. And that leads us into the main event. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn for the NXT Championship. And obviously there's some questions going into this. Sami Zayn also has a torn rotator cuff from a few weeks ago. If you believe the reports, he actually did it pumping up the crowd when he was entering for his match against John Cena a few weeks ago on Raw. And of course, this previous Monday on Raw, Owens came out and sort of jawed with Cena and then powerbombed him. And so much so that when Owens was introduced, he came out in the John Cena United States Championship, the champ is here shirt. Early on, a lot of fighting. Owens tried to go for a powerbomb against the ring apron that he's been doing for the past few weeks, but Zayn was able to counter into a back body drop. Zayn just took advantage of this, slammed Owens into the ring steps twice. The fight spilled out into the crowd. They're fighting. Zayn tries to do a move on Owens, but Owens catches him, tries to powerbomb on the concrete, but Zayn grabs onto the handrail and just blocks it. They then fight their way back in the ring. Zayn hits a blue thunder bomb for a 2 drop. Zayn hits a half and half suplex for a 2 count. Zayn tried to set up the haluva kick. Didn't quite work well. Yeah, but Owens rolled out of the ring. Zayn goes back outside the ring, hits a big T-bone suplex on Owens, stands him up, setting him up for a big move. Owens catches him and hits the pop-up powerbomb into the ring apron. And Zayn's just knocked out. He's unconscious. The refs start trying to check on Zayn. Owens just waits and waits, and eventually, like, he just gets sick and tired. He just starts beating on Zayn. Everyone's trying to stop him. The refs trying to stop him. He rolls Zayn back into the ring. He starts trying to set up another power bomb. Eventually, William Regal comes down and starts yelling at him and just grabs him, tries to pull him off, but Owens throws him down. Match is basically no contest at this point. Nothing's good stopping Owens from beating. And then, boom, 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 boom. That's right. Samoa Joe's music hits. Samoa Joe, obviously we know he's in NXT. It was rumored that he was going to be in the triple threat to replace Hideo Itami, but that wasn't the case. He still showed up. He still comes right out. He stares down Owens. Owens just begs off and leaves the ring and goes back up the ramp. The whole crowd's going bonkers. They're chanting, Joe, Joe, Joe. Owens comes back out. The crowd starts saying, fight, Owens, fight. And again, Owens just sort of backs off and leaves. He goes, I know about you, I know about you. And that's how the show ends. Admittedly, kind of a disappointing match. High impact early on. Obviously, I don't think they could have expected Sami Zayn to do a really long match, or he probably knew he wasn't going to win again with the injury. Cool way to debut Joe, though. Oh, boy. Okay, so next video is going to be the Tomorrowland review. Then, after that, it's going to be random trade review on Avengers Under Siege. I'm about halfway through scripting that right now, so should be ready to go pretty soon here. Then, obviously, after that, we're going to have the Elimination Chamber with the Elimination Chamber Tag Team match, the Elimination Chamber match for the Intercontinental Belt, the Owens-Cena match. I don't know how that's going to go down. Don't know if the United States... I don't think the United States title is going to be on the line in that, but, Well, anyway, see you then. V8 berry blend.